Is it me or is rap music just getting laser?
Yeah, reach in my pocket, my stress, cigarettes in the lid. Yeah, 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 what? Yeah. Yeah, reach in my pocket, my stress, cigarettes in the lid. Different day and time, I need the presidents. Reach in my pocket, my stress, cigarettes in the lid. Different day and time, I need the presidents. Reach in my pocket, my stress, cigarettes in the lid. Different day and time, I need the presidents. Reach in my pocket, my stress, cigarettes in the lid. Different day and time, I need the presidents. I need the presidents, fuck the dead presidents. This world's a ghetto, several to settle, fueling the devil. Gas to the pedal, living to die, this can't be life. Life's full of wisdom, needing ants back in the day, sipping here. Trying to come up with my friends, no doubt. Yeah, hit the streets, gotta show what you really be bout. Crooked cops on the prowl, at any given minute, shit can go down. Open the trunk up in the funky sounds. I was lost, but now I'm found. Playing haters, hating the style is not allowed. And there's no doubt around here. Still walking around with no fear. Let me clear the way, so don't you dare interfere. Real, till the day I die supplied. The public with rhymes, look in my eyes. No regrets in this life. Though you think about shit, gotta continue to strive. What it be like living broke ain't the way. Gotta try to stack it, give yourself your own raise. Escape the pain, go against the grain. Different day and time, synchronize the price to pay. Sacrifice, bitch ass motherfuckers. I've arrived, let's ride, ride. Reach in my pocket, my stress, cigarettes in the lid. Different day and time, I need the presidents. Reach in my pocket, my stress, cigarettes in the lid. Different day and time, I need the presidents. Rolling in the bucket, better drive it like a Benz. Focused on my ends, staring at my review, trying to figure out what the meaning to life is. Yeah, trying to figure out what the meaning to life is. Rolling in the bucket, better drive it like a Benz. Focused on my ends, staring at my review, trying to figure out what the meaning to life is. Yeah, trying to figure out what the meaning to life is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Kick It Podcast, brought to you by Kick It Labs. As always, this is being broadcasted and recorded live from our studio here in the city of Oceanside. My name is Victor V, joined by my brother Bruce.
Yep.
We got Pickle on the back, and you might see a few other boys coming in and out throughout the episode. But for now, it's just us. We're kicking it. We're here with a very, very special guest. We've been trying to get this gentleman on for quite some weeks, and I'm glad it happened today. You guys might have seen this story. You guys have probably already even seen what this man does in his Craftsy studio. Talking about, of course, the one and only Austin from ZITO Hat Company. So, brother, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for kicking it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Welcome.
it's a stoked, man. I'm super thrilled to have you on the studio, for real.
Yeah, this is cool. I appreciate it. I think it's I want to do as much stuff in the city where the shop is at that I possibly can, because Oceanside is very much a tight community. So I'm super stoked to be a part of it.
Oh, thanks, man. And we've talked about it plenty of times here in the studio. Like, Oceanside definitely has like a strong nucleus, but I feel like North County in general is starting to evolve and grow, and just being part of the North County culture is pretty beautiful at this point in time.
Yeah, I was I grew up in San Diego, in East County actually, but my wife's from North County, and I would come up here because all my friends were up here, and so I definitely was like always attracted to coming up to North County, and this is where like all the skateboarding was, which was my dream before, before being a hat maker. I wanted to be a pro skateboarder, and so North County is like a different part of San Diego entirely. It's just two different cities in my opinion.
You ever caught Tony Hawk around here in these parts?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have? Has he told you to do a kickflip?
Yeah. His son lives like right next to me though, so.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
grew up skating with him, so.
That's right.
Yeah. He's out in Vista, which I'm in Vista right now, so.
That's right. That's right. We want to go ahead and get right into it. Can you go ahead and tell the viewers about your shop and actually where your story starts and how you got into your line of work?
Yeah. So I would say I've been making hats just a little over 9 years now, actually. I was introduced to it by working for a leather goods company when I lived in LA for a brief time. And I was working for this leather goods company, and one of the best hat makers in the world started making hats for the shop. So he came to show us how to take care of them. And like I said, at the time, my dream was to be a pro skateboarder, and he was a skater from the 80s. And so we were just friends immediately, started showing me stuff, how to manipulate them, how to work with the hats, and kind of just like mentored me into hat making. He was starting to teach me stuff. And I got to know him for about 9 months before he really suddenly passed away. And so he ended up actually leaving me all of his tools. And so I fell into it. It was not something I was like, I'm going to be a cowboy hat maker when I get older. It was just very natural, and I kind of slowly people started asking me to, make them hats, and I would just kind of slowly from the ground up built it that way. And actually, originally, it was a way to pay for motorcycle parts. So I like to build custom, like vintage choppers and stuff like that as a hobby, and for a long time it was just a side hustle to pay for motorcycle parts. And then fast forward a couple years from there, I went full time in January 1st of 2020, and my wife and I moved back at the time we were in Austin, in Texas, and I was doing it in my garage here for a little bit, and then I got a shop in Leucadia for about 2.5 years. And
Great location to have a shop.
Yeah, super awesome. It was super tiny. I mean, it was like I said, hats take up a lot of space, and so it was really small. It's just we outgrew it pretty quickly, which is great. And then we got the shop in Oceanside exactly a year ago today, or December 1st or so. Yeah.
Hey, congratulations,
Yeah,
bro.
thank you.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool that through your mentor you were able to pick up on those skills. And I mean, I'm sorry for your loss,
No,
the sudden passing, but like even him just leaving you like his tools to continue that legacy, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, and hat making has always traditionally been apprenticeship based, so it's passed down verbally from a mentor to the apprentice essentially. And so, like you guys saw in my shop, Jack, who works with me, he was my apprentice for 2 years, and now he's a full hat maker and works with me and makes every single hat that we put out of the shop. So it's really important. Next year we're going to take on probably 1 or 2 more apprentices as well, and kind of increase the production a little bit, move a little bit faster. Should be cool.
Okay. And then how do you find your apprentices? Do the people like just come forward and ask you to be like, hey, can you teach me this? Okay.
It's a lot of people are because I think people have the perception it's a cool thing to be doing, which it is. I get to do advanced arts and crafts for like a living. It's really pretty fun. Like it's my dream. I have so much fun doing it every day. So people ask quite a bit. I have a list of people at all times who are like want to come and join us, but usually I'll post a listing essentially like on Facebook or Instagram, and my wife and I set up interviews for a couple weeks, and because we're so small that whoever we bring into the shop, like I have to spend 40 hours a week with them. We got to be getting along well, and they've got to kind of mesh with the vibe of what we've got going on, and it's super labor intensive and detail oriented. So it takes a certain type of person to want to sit and sew for 8 hours straight, and so you just got to find someone a little bit crazy enough to be willing to do it.
And also have a key in perception.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not a. It's something that like I'm trusting everybody to work on these hats with me, and it's super important to me, and so I take it super seriously when I am bringing someone into the business and teaching the craft too. So it's a responsibility, but in my business, I'm purposely building it so that I can take on multiple people and teach them because it needs to be passed on. So.
Well, bring me back just a little bit. You know, you and your lady decided to bring up this company. How'd you guys come up with the name?
It's my last name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And pretty much everyone my entire life has always called me by my last name. So everyone calls me Zito, and everyone in my family goes by Zito. So if you're at like a family gathering and you go, "Hey Zito," everyone looks. It's like kind of just, it's just one of those like. And I never like as soon as I was like had any friends in skateboarding, like everybody calls me Zito. I pretty much it's interchangeable with my first name. So when I was coming up with the name for the business, you know, it's not maybe the smartest thing to name the business after yourself because it makes you really emotionally attached to it. But for me, that's my strength is like I really care about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so it's a way to wager the quality of my work against my name quite literally. So that's why I take it so seriously. So
Okay.
I go back and forth between being like, you know, oh man, I should have had maybe a more commercial name for it, to then being like super proud that it is so connected to me. So.
No, I dig it. It kind of reminds me like a European fashion house or something, or even like Stetson, because I think
Yeah.
Stetson, that's like the last name,
John
right?
B. Stetson is the last name. I think there's a precedent for it within the hat industry, and you know, like I said, because I've gone by my last, like essentially, like that's what everyone calls me for my entire life. I think it is kind of appropriate, kind of works. So we also very recently, within the last couple of months, maybe the last year or so, we rebranded finally. I'd had the same logo and branding for like 9 years, or all 9 years essentially, and so we finally updated it to make it a little bit cleaner and more versatile, and so it is what is in here now, which is just font essentially, and then you know, because it's so personal, my handwriting I wrote out Hat Company underneath it.
No, it's smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's clean right there.
Yeah,
it's
that's
super
what I was
clean.
going for.
That's right.
All right. Well, you get to your shop, 2020. How did that year work out for you?
So actually, in 2020, I was working before 2020, I was working for a cowboy boot brand actually called Tacovas, and I went and opened their first couple of stores for them, and this is when we lived in Austin still. And I gave them a year of my time, and they allowed me to kind of transition out into doing hats full time, and so I went full time January 1st of 2020, and you know, obviously like a month later COVID happened, but I was just doing it in my garage at the time, and everyone in Austin who decided or who maintained their income, they all were intentionally buying from artists actually, so my business exploded. I had a ton of people coming in, and it was enough for me to be able to continue doing it and continue moving along with it. It was actually harder when I moved back to San Diego from Austin to rebuild my clients because it's a very localized kind of business. So we're doing hats for people all over
Yeah,
the
but
city.
especially in Texas, you know, everybody likes hats,
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
likes boots, and I've heard of Tacova. I think they do like a lot of leather work too.
Yeah, they just opened a shop in Fashion Valley. I actually have nothing but great things to say about them. They're phenomenal. So great people and great experience in there. I would highly recommend if you're looking for cowboy boots. That's where I send people all the time because there's no boot makers that I'm aware of right now in San Diego. So it's a good place to go to get some.
You know what? Now I'm gonna have to keep an eye out. 'Cause
Yeah.
there might be a couple of boot bakers, but even like cobblers, they're so hard to come by.
Yeah, you know, there's a couple of really phenomenal like custom boot makers up in LA, but I'm trying to gather as many people in San Diego as possible to send them to. I found recently a guy in North Park doing custom denim, and his business is called Plaza Denim, kind of locally in the chopper community as well, which is really cool. It's always a plus for me to push people who are.
You're right, Bruce?
Bless you.
Yeah.
dude.
I need to smoke it on
Yeah, I
this
was
one.
gonna say I thought you weren't smoking.
That's just like a natural
Yeah, you
instinct at
can
this
go
point.
for it.
Yep. Sorry about that, Austin.
No, you're good.
We also got a word from production. Can we go ahead and fix up your mic just a little bit more up on your,
Yeah,
on your
for sure.
sweater? Just a little bit more up.
Here?
Yeah, just go a little bit more up.
There?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
right
works.
there. That works.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Thank you, production.
Yeah.
All right, continue, Austin. Sorry about that.
No, it's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that by planting my flag and my store here, especially in North County, but also in Oceanside where I think it has the potential to have a lot of really unique and cool businesses that are not, just like soul-sucking entities that are
Right,
not good for the city really. And so like in my liners, it's made in Oceanside because we literally make everything in our shop where we sell things, and I'm making them and Jack's making them. And so when you walk into the store, you're not only in contact with like the people who are physically making things for you, but we're gonna finish them for you. Everything in the store we made ourselves as well, even the cabinets and the paint and like the leather, everything is done by hand there. So it's really experiential. We're trying to get people really immersed when we have them in the store.
You know what? I definitely do see that, man. Especially this last 2 years, the way that Oceanside has been developing, with Brixton coming back into town.
Yeah.
And now even Mark Wahlberg has his Municipal clothing brand.
Right. Either how you want to look at it, up or down the street, however you want to look at it from your location.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good if you're getting in, opening a business in Oceanside. I mean, like, from where my shop is, we're right across the street from the Freeman Collective, which is Little Fox. There's Corner Pizza, which are great, awesome people. All the people that work there and that own the place are really phenomenal. There's Artifacts. I mean, it's just there's a lot of cool stuff happening, and even since I've been there in the 1 year, I've seen probably 6 businesses open within a 2-block radius of where we're at. So it's really cool. It's really cool to see. I mean, it's very helpful to have more people walking around too. So.
Yeah,
That's right.
that stretch right there in South O, right before you hit Vista Way. That's pretty cool, man. The way it's been coming up. And Bruce and I just went to Tanner's the other day.
That was my first time.
It's good. They do the tallow fries. I
Yeah,
think
the
it's
tallow
really-
fries. Whew.
It's cool because like that type of business is very admirable to me because they're I think they actually have the farm where they raise the beef too, which is so cool. It's just so in-house. They're using everything. Like I really resonate with businesses that are resourceful like that and kind of doing things the best and most proper way. Because it takes a lot. It's really hard to do it that way.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in my opinion.
And then fun fact we didn't know about it is like the pizza place right across the street, they sell oysters.
Do they really?
Yeah, we
At
didn't
Corner-
know that. They
yeah,
sell
Corner
small
Pizza sells
oysters.
That's
oysters.
sick. That's awesome. I'll have to tell my apprentice he's over there all the time, so I'm sure he would love it.
Right. So I see with ZITO Hat Company, when I hear about it and I researched it, I'm hearing quality, I'm hearing handmade, I'm hearing 5 stars. And do you get a lot of custom requests?
Oh yeah.
A lot? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
what's your most common custom request you see?
Most of the time it's actually I do a lot of custom work. I cover a really wide range of like, different styles of hats that I make. Like I was actually, when I was picking the hat I was going to wear today, I was initially wearing like a bucket hat that I made out of fur. And so very
Sick.
different than what I'm wearing here, but I also get a lot of like cowboy hat requests. Mostly though, the custom stuff is people are coming in because they actually can't find something that fits them perfectly, which we take care of because we make them around the exact size and shape of your head. So a lot of people, they'll come in and they'll have either everything is made on a standard oval, right? It's just imagining a standard perfect oval. And people, I would say maybe 2 out of every 100 people that walks in actually fits in a standard oval. And so some people are more round, some people are what's called a long oval, so you're longer front to back and narrower on the sides. And those, I would say, that 98% of people that comes in, they're like, I'm just not really a hat person. And every single time it's because they just have a head shape that is not conducive to pulling a hat off the rack and wearing it immediately. And so we take care of that actually quite a bit. And we see people, we turn people from like not hat people at all, would never wear a hat, to like, oh, actually I really like this and it fits me well. And, I get exactly what I want. So, lately we've been doing a lot of cowboy hats though, because it's just in right now.
Yeah,
So
it's super in.
Everyone's going Western, which I as a hat maker, I absolutely love. Cowboy hats are my favorite thing to make. It's just above and beyond the most fun thing to make. You feel kind of badass when you're making that cowboy hat. You just get into an attitude about it, and it's really fun. So.
Well, I got a question to piggyback from what Bruce just asked. So people walk in, they have a vision of their hat, but you see the person. Do you kind of envision them in a different kind of style hat than they, originally came into the store with?
You know, most people, I find that the people that are coming in, we don't see a ton of people. It's like 4 to 15 people a day. So it's not a heavy, like, foot traffic, heavy store. So most people coming in, they've probably been following me for a while. They know almost exactly what they want, but also they know, because of all the content that I'm putting out, like, what they're already going to look good in. Because I make videos about this stuff to, like, kind of educate people, But also, like, when you walk in, if you have no idea what hat will look good on you, or you have no preference at all, I can absolutely tell you, just based on your face shape, the stature, your shoulder width, like, all that, if you have facial hair, your personal style, all of that kind of comes into to play when you're getting a hat. And so, different face shapes lend to different, looking better in certain shapes, essentially. So sometimes people will come in like, I want this. I'm like, that's not going to look good on you, because here's what will look good on you. And most people, because I've been doing it for a while, will take my recommendation. And I only make recommendations like that because I know, like, I just have a lot of evidence of making thousands and thousands of hats for people and looking at people's heads all day. Like, I already know your guys' head sizes and shapes just by looking at them.
Which is good, because I do like sporting on my fedoras, actually.
Yeah. I love doing fedoras. It's actually, I would say that's pretty much tied with my favorite thing to do, a really classic fedora. I mean, you guys were mentioning you're in the lowrider community. I've done custom hats to match, like, the interior of your lowrider. It's one of my favorite things to do. And usually they're like 1920s style fedoras, akin to the 1940s, so kind of shorter, smaller, lower profile.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite things to do.
Not that big of a brim.
It's just kind of that shorter, super short style. And they snap like this, so you can, like, kind of go up and down.
Do you even have the feather with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's right. Hell yeah.
It's everything. We do, like, everything there. We do all the leather work, the silversmithing, the embroidery, the hand sewing. I mean, everything that goes into it, we make entirely in the store. And not because, like, like silversmithing, I'm probably like a B at, maybe a B- or a B+ depending on the day.
That's still a passable grade.
It's still, well, it's more than enough to do anything I want for a custom hat, and I just think it's way cooler to have it done all in-house, because I don't have to, like, wait for other people to make stuff for me. The price ends up going way lower because I'm doing it myself, and, like, I'm able to fabricate the things that I want. I mean, I've been making silver stuff and, like, jewelry stuff for like 11 years, actually, so even longer than hat making. I took one silversmithing course when I lived in LA at Santa Monica City College, and I went to one semester of college, and that was the only class I would show up for. But I still use it every day, so it's great.
Paid off.
It paid off, yeah. Who knew?
Yeah. Well, everybody, don't forget, we're here with our boy ZITO from ZITO Hat Company. Thank you, everybody, tuning in. To everybody out there in the comment sections, which I do see a couple of comments. So, Piccolo, you want to do us a favor? All right, we got Valerie Duran saying, "Why are there two Victors?" Oh, hey, no, it's not just me. It's ZITO out here. You're rocking a hat too.
It's because we light skinned. They think we all look the same, huh?
Yeah. Then I can't really read that. Bruce, can you read it?
The Mad Hatter, like those barbers that know what hairstyles go to the shape of someone's head.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. All right.
Good comparison.
Then
Thank you,
we got-
Valerie.
And we got another one. I did see Mr. Sanchez. Didn't quite know what I'm pretty sure it's emoji that we cannot see, but salute to you, Mr. Sanchez.
Shout out Esther.
Yo, could not make it to the ceremony for you and Jimmy, but we did see the content. We did see the video. Congrats and much love to y'all. We're glad to see another 4 years of work coming along for the city of Oceanside. For
Yes, sir.
reals.
So, Miss Esther, you guys, you or City Council, anybody's looking out for a hat, let's hit up ZITO. He's got you guys.
Can we go ahead and tap into the IG? See how that goes. Piccolo.
Piccolo, IG, we got it. Woo. All right.
We never went live.
I guess we did not go
Fuck.
live on IG. All right. Well, we could go live now.
You go live, click it right
Yeah.
now.
That's all right. Well, thank you, everybody tuning in.
Well, we're on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 'cause usually the IG ones, they always go down. They always go down to the archives just because
Oh,
the
really?
videos are so long. They can't really
Yeah.
post it because you know how the updates are now. You can't post any hour-long
I
videos
haven't
or
messed
anything
with
like
like any live stuff in so long. I haven't really tapped into it as much as I probably should or could.
Live is different because you could go live over your phone, or how we do it, we go live through StreamYards, which is like the main provider, and it kind of directs you
Interesting.
to like all the other platforms. But it's a different beast.
Yeah. I know there's some people, I've met other business owners who are like, yeah, you should do TikTok live. Like, I make like $10,000 an hour when I go on there. I'm like, what do you mean? How are you doing that? Like,
Well,
that's insane.
right?
hope they went over
Send us that
somewhere else
info.
in TikTok because TikTok's about to get kicked out in January.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's in the U.S. It went through the whole system, went through Congress, the House Assembly, Google, and every other server. They have until a certain date in January to kick TikTok off their server, or else they're gonna get hit with heavy fines.
No way. I didn't know that it went
Yeah.
through. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it went through. It went through earlier this year.
I've been posting to TikTok, but only just like my same content, I guess, just to see. But
That's crazy, right?
It's crazy. I didn't realize. I mean, I don't really use it personally. So.
Want to know the reason why?
Wow.
Because they didn't sell to an American business owner, right? Something like that.
No. Because TikTok is a Chinese or a China-based app, right? And what they're saying is they're intentionally feeding the algorithm over here to the States to
like
dumb
dumb
us
down? Yeah, I've
yeah,
seen that
while
before.
while the algorithm over there is
It's like
more
science
like
and,
yeah,
yeah.
you know, technology building and like life-changing skills and
Yeah.
all that shit. And then over here it's just like
All brain rot stuff.
yeah. And plus also the whole security thing about like
Yeah.
them collecting data on us.
Yeah, which is pretty sketchy, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's I get it. I mean, I don't really care. Personally, like, every time I go on TikTok, I'm like, I don't really need to be on here.
Well, the whole point of it too is like we're all on social media, so at
Yeah.
one point we're all giving ourselves out a bit, you know.
Yeah, I think social media generally is a good thing, only because like from the frame of like a business owner, where I'm doing content also for a living, you know, it's if I imagine sometimes as a thought experiment, like, okay, go back to before social media existed, I would have had to pay, you know, $10,000 a month or more to have the same sort of reach that I have for free every single day. Like, people are opening an app to check to see what I've done for the week. Like, that's so cool. It's and you know, it's like all people that are fans of what we're doing, and it's completely free. You know, so I think it's massively. There's a huge amount of leverage there, and it's a really big resource. And like I would say, probably 95% of the people that walk into the store are like, "Oh, I follow you on Instagram, or I saw your stuff on Facebook. I've been following you for a while. I'm ready to get a hat." So like, when people walk in, I don't have to like sell them on anything. They just know what they're there for, which is so helpful because I'm making stuff all the time. You know, like, it's hard. You know, it's hard to
It's
hard to
cool.
have to
You ain't
explain
gotta
it.
go through the whole
Yeah,
process
like,
of explaining.
They're like, no. I saw that video. You don't even have to explain it. I'm like, okay, cool.
I also gotta hit you with the question. This is regarding your mentorship days. You know, of learning the craft. What was a great lesson that your mentor taught you that still sticks to you to this day?
Okay, one of the funniest. These are all weird ones. There's a lot
That's
of
all
bad
right.
luck in hat making, and so there's a lot of superstitions that have been passed down for like hundreds of years.
Ooh.
First one is that you don't ever take your hat off and put it down like this. It's believed that you carry your luck in your hat, and if you put it down like this, you drop your luck out. And so it's super bad luck. The other one is, and I know the reason for that, and I'll tell you guys in a second. The other one is never put your hat on your bed. It's incredibly bad luck.
I've heard that with cowboy hats actually.
It's, yeah, I even will, like, I wear a ball cap on the weekdays, like when I'm off or something, or if I'm working on my house. And I still will sometimes, like, I'm like, I'm not going to put it on the bed. I'm a little scared. And it's the only one I hold. I don't know why on that one. My theory is that it was from a time back when crabs and lice were more prevalent in like hotels and stuff, like in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So you throw your hat on there and there's lice in your head and you put it into the bed. That's disgusting, obviously. So the other one, the one previously, the one where you're not supposed to drop your luck out, is specifically for cowboy hats because they're shaped like this. And if you set it down like that, over time your brim starts to flatten out. Yeah. And so it was mostly a way for hat makers to scare people into taking care of their hats, so they didn't have to do it for them all the time. But
there's common sense right behind it,
Yeah.
you know, which is great. That's a great. I didn't know
yeah.
that.
The other one that is weird that I also teach every single person that I teach how to make hats, and it's like it's a lot. My apprenticeship is it's a 2-year commitment. Like you have to be willing to work for 2 years learning how to do it, because I am not interested in training anyone who's not willing to put in the work to become the best at it. So it's super important, that part. But the weird thing is that he taught me, Greg, is don't ever drop your needle or put it down. Mostly it's just because you drop your needle and you have to spend like 5 minutes looking for it, and that's like, it really interrupts your flow. I don't know why, but that was just the one thing that like very much stuck with me, that I still get upset when I drop a needle. It happens all the time. It's like unavoidable, you know, but I don't know why. It's something that I always beat myself up over if I like accidentally drop a needle. I'm like, why'd I do that? I'm never supposed to drop my needle. I can hear him like saying it to me, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's mostly just endearing a little bit. So.
Got it. And then I gotta ask another question. What have been, of course, we see the content going out. Has there been any special clientele that's out there, like, you know, like an influencer or like a well-known social media or even actor or any artist that have also sported out your gear? So
yeah, I would say probably the most recent and pretty cool, like the coolest one that I've done was this year. I did, Petco Park asked me to do hats for the Padres. So we did hats for the All-Stars that made it to the All-Star game. So like Tatis was wearing a hat, and like all the it was like 6 or 7 hats that we did for them. And then the Padres also through me gifted hats to Dom Mysterio. Yeah. You watch the WWE?
Yeah, I do.
I saw him
Dirty
wearing
Dom.
it.
Yeah, Dirty Dom.
Yeah.
He's so rad. He's super nice. He actually just he messaged me and ordered a hat for me like a week ago as well for his father-in-law.
That's sick.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. Actually, I think he's gonna come into the shop pretty soon to pick it up. But the Padres like gifted the that same sort of hat, and then. I can't really talk about the most famous one that I'm doing, but I'm like,
you know, there's some things
Yeah.
you gotta hold out.
You'll see it in like a week.
Yeah.
At the end of this month, it'll be out, but I can't totally talk about it yet. But it's also through Petco. They're gifting a hat to an artist. So
All right,
yeah,
bet.
it's gonna be definitely the most famous person I've ever made a hat for.
I already know who it is, bro. You ain't even gotta
Y'all hear it here first at Kick Labs, y'all.
And then I've had a client for a long time. It's a famous Icelandic rock band, actually.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they're called Kaleo, and they're super awesome people.
Like the cartoon character?
Like the cartoon character Kaleo?
Mm-hmm. Like Kaleo?
Who's that?
Like the ball? Like the
No,
like
you're talking about somebody else, dude. I know
like the
who you're
name
talking
is
about.
similar to like
Is
the
it?
cartoon
Is it?
character. You know, like the
No,
ball
it's-
head, like the ball.
KU or something.
K-
Yeah, it's not the same.
I know it's not the same. I was saying the name is similar.
Kaleo is like, I don't remember what it means. It means like, I don't remember what it means. It's like an Icelandic word or something.
Yeah.
But the whole band has ordered hats for me multiple times. The lead singer, like their first appointment, they like came to my house in Austin, and my wife like made them cinnamon rolls. Like they're just super nice people, but they're like, they tour with the Rolling Stones, and they're extremely talented, very famous. And I just recently made one for JJ, who's the lead singer. So currently, definitely the most famous person I made it for. He was like touring all over Europe, and I sent it out to him. It was maybe like 2 weeks ago or so that I sent it to him. So it's been like 6 years that they've been ordering hats for me, which is pretty cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
Hey, quality takes you a long way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I gotta come back a little bit towards the whole Petco Park collab. Like, how did that come to be? Did they just reach out to you out of the blue?
Yeah, it was pretty random. So earlier this year, they had the rodeo at Petco, the national
January.
rodeo. Yeah, in January.
We were there.
Were you guys there? Okay.
Yeah, we saw when the horse yelled that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You scarred
so
me
I
for life,
was
eh?
I was like gonna actually participate in that and go to a booth, but I had just opened the store and spent a lot of money on it, and the rental for 3 days for a booth there was like as much as rent for a month, and so I was like, okay, I can't. It's not right for me. probably can't do it this time. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it this time either because I just talked to them and they're like, hey, we have other hat companies, which like bigger ones, like probably Brixton and Seeker were there I think last year. So I don't know that it's the right environment for me. But anyways, I got in contact with the people who do all the non-Padres events at Petco, and I was like, hey, just keep me in your contact if you guys ever need my services for like artist gifting, which is what I do a lot. It's more specialty for them. And so they passed my info along to Daryl, who's was also, after I met him, realized that I kind of knew him as well through skateboarding. He's big in the skateboarding industry with like Skate Mafia and like all that kind of stuff. He was in charge of that and commissioned me to do them. And we just kind of like, he gave me like a week to do 8 hats or something, which is insane. I was also coming off of like being sick at the same time, and so I had to like lock the store because I had to go start working on them immediately, otherwise I wouldn't have made the deadline. Like I'm talking like, so I don't know if you guys saw the video at all, but I burned the SD logo into the front of the hat, like right here. And I did those about 30 minutes before I had to deliver them, because like that's how much down to the wire I was on working on these. Like it was such a quick turnaround. So normally it's, you know, a custom hat takes me, if I have everything in front of me, it's probably going to take me 2 weeks or so, a week maybe if I'm only working on that thing. Yeah. But I had 7 or 8 of them to do, the exact same ones. It was intense, but it was super worth it. It was, I mean, it was,
yeah, and those details, man. I saw when you were carving out the numbers. That looked like it was you know, a really time-consuming and kind of a pain.
It is, yeah, but it was for me worth it. Obviously, they sent me their jersey numbers and the font that the jerseys are in, and so I hand carved them out in the same font and like embedded them into the side of the hat. I mean, that was like the huge boost for my business, and just like I go to Fraser Farms over in Vista. That's where my grocery store is, and people were recognizing me in the grocery store. It was a weird feeling. They're like, "Did you do the Padres hats?" You know, I was like, "Yeah, I did. That's so cool." But yeah, it was definitely like a big boost because I had a bunch of news channels come out and cover me. We were in the O-Sider magazine, which was really cool, and yeah, it was phenomenal. It was probably the best. I'm next year hoping to do more stuff like that. I like doing those big kind of like specialty orders like that. It's really fun for me. So yeah, it's also good for business.
Oh yeah.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm super happy for you.
Thank
ZITO.
you.
Heck yeah.
That's dope, man. That whole experience you're going through is fucking great. I mean, you said it yourself. You get the feeling of it, and then you also get the recognition from people that you're surprised that even like know and are aware.
Yeah, I mean, also like growing up in San Diego, like I used to skate Qualcomm Stadium when I was a kid. Like I would go there, you know, every weekend and go skate, and so I grew up like, you know, obviously being very familiar with the Padres, being a fan of the Padres, and then to have them hit me up was pretty wild. It was a cool experience. It was mostly I was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna make this happen, but I'm gonna say yes to this and worry about it in a second.
Yeah.
I just had to figure it out. So it was cool. It's worth it though. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta take those risks, you know, and that big jump. When you see what is an opportunity given to you, you gotta take it.
Yeah. The key is just moving as fast as possible, typically, and that's what I mean. I literally was like sick while I was working on them for the first 2 days of that, and then I was better after that. But I was like, the doors were locked, the store was closed because my other hat maker, Jack, he races the Baja 1000. Like he's like super talented motorcycle racer. Actually, just raced this weekend in Superstition, but. Yeah, he was out of town, and then I was like couldn't work, but then I had to work, so I had to do what I had to do.
You know, which fabric did you end up using on those hats? Because it looks very similar to what you're wearing right now.
Yeah, those were 100% rabbit fur felt, which is I use 3 different materials. Most of what I use is 100% beaver fur. Beaver fur is like the gold standard for hat making. So this is what I'm wearing is beaver fur. They're naturally super soft. I mean, you guys can feel this here.
Let me feel that material.
So
that's badass.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's super soft and also naturally extremely water resistant. So you can wear them in the rain, the snow, you know, and they last about 200 years. So they're multi-generational. It's intended to be passed down.
This hat could last 200 years?
This will easily last 200 years.
Oh, damn. That thing my shit's made out of cardboard.
Yeah. Usually, like the Justin hats, they're like a wool blend, which you just don't want to get it wet, basically, and it'll last you a pretty good amount of time. But I mean, we do hat repair. We started taking on hat repair this year, just so I wanted to service the hat wearing community, and like we service all the local rodeo queen community, like the bronc riders. Like everybody's coming to the store for me to like reshape their hats, put new sweatbands in, reshape stuff. Like it's really mostly just to make sure that people were taken care of, because I want to foster like hat wearing in San Diego. And so some people will bring me like hats that are their great-great-grandfathers, and I'll fix it for them, and then they can wear it for the rest of their life. Or someone the other day gave me a hat from the 1930s, and it's not even full beaver. I mean, it's just they're indestructible how long they last. And I'm going to fix it, and it'll just be a display for the shop for me to tell people like, hey, what we're making you is going to outlast myself. It's going to outlast you. It's going to outlast your kids. It's going to outlast your kids' kids, and probably your kids' kids' kids as well. So it's just the reason I work in these materials is just because I think it's the coolest and best way to do it. So I'd rather have things lasting forever, because I spent a lot of time making it. This was about like 22 hours or so.
That's sick. You know, recently I got into like going to antique stores because like I said, I like fedoras, and it's hard to find a good fedora modern days and shit.
Absolutely.
So I hit up antique stores to actually go ahead and find some good ones. So that actually is a great tip.
That's how I got started with practice. You know, because the raw materials to make a hat are super expensive. It's just really hard to get to. Sometimes it can take us up to a year to receive material to make a hat.
Woo.
It's really insane. So when I first started hat making, to get practice for you know, as inexpensively as possible, I would go to all the antique malls that I could find all over. Like I did a road trip throughout Texas and Arizona, and I stopped at every single antique mall, and I bought any cowboy hat that was made out of beaver that was under 15 bucks. And so I was just like, and I would redo them and sell them sometimes. Sometimes I'd just redo them a bunch of times just to practice. Because when I first started, I didn't have the benefit of getting a full apprenticeship. You know, I was just getting kind of like a mentorship. Whereas like Jack, when he came into the business, we were already making a couple hundred hats a year. And the only way to get really good at it is to just do it a ton. You know, it's like you guys are in your seventh season of podcasts. Like, you know, you're probably significantly better than when you first started, you know?
You got to put 1,000 hours and then some, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's not worth it to work on the best materials right off the bat, because you're just gonna kind of fuck it up.
Yeah, you know.
I'm sorry, can I cuss on this?
You can say whatever the fuck you want on this.
I know on Instagram sometimes I have to like bleep it out, because I'm not really like very.
Oh, don't worry. On our page, all our followers, they know what we're about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, especially on the YouTube is a little bit more X-rated. Instagram, we try to keep it a little bit more clean with the clips. But
You do?
sometimes it happens. You never know. Hey, well, shout out to everybody who's been tuning in throughout the episode. Don't forget, we're here with ZITO, the man from ZITO Hat Company. Shout out to everybody in the Instagram, on the Facebook, YouTube.
We got Scotty Wave.
Everybody.
What is that? Scotty Wave 193 saying hi. Is that 193?
Yo, what's up, Scotty? Thank you for kicking it.
Yeah. And then thank y'all for tapping in with us. Y'all already know. Coming up, this is one of the last few episodes of this season.
Yes, sir.
And bro, it's been a hell of a fucking year. I gotta tell you that much. It's been great. We've seen a lot of recurring guests. We've seen new guests come through these doors. We have some ups. We have some downs. But just like any other business, you always gotta come back even stronger from any setbacks. You don't take no L's. You take setbacks and learn from that. Ain't that right?
That's the way to go. Yeah. You never lost if you only lose if you stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna write that down, dude.
Yeah.
There's certain quotes that throughout the year that I've been written down from like guests, and like, you know, they help.
One of my favorites, because I in my head when I'm sewing, I'm listening to like business podcasts or talks on YouTube or something. One of my favorites is, which goes into what we were talking about, is volume negates luck, which is basically like if you want to get lucky, just do something a million times and you will inevitably hit. And so you just have to keep going, because that's the only way you get better. It's like you said, you know, you you know, it's not a failure unless you stop. So it's interesting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Zito, what do you have lined up for your 2025? Any plans just yet, or are you just trying to vacation for the meantime before the next wave?
Yeah, I've definitely got a couple surprises up my sleeve for next year. Mostly we're going to be doing some more events. We have a really big parking lot in the back, and I want to try and figure out how to activate it with something that's local and cool and free for people to come do. And then also increasing our production quite a bit. We're going to hire a couple people as well. And you know, making some hats for cool people, pretty much. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You guys ever thought about like getting into like I don't know, like school programs? You know, like
yeah.
involving like some schools take a
Badass.
field trip and like, you know.
So there's two doors down from our shop is the children's art school, basically. So there's they come in, and I always give a tour to any kid that's interested in it, because like technically I'm a working artist, and so I love talking to kids who are interested in art. And actually any kid who comes in who's old enough to not choke on small things, I have I have little wheat pennies, vintage wheat pennies, because I used to collect coins as a kid. And
Yeah, wheat pennies.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
so I just have a big stack of them, and I just give them out to kids just as a way to like get people stoked and get people interested in old stuff and looking around you and like seeing what's around in your world. Because I remember the first like little vintage coin that I found a buffalo nickel, and I felt like I had found buried treasure. I mean, it was so cool, and I have this huge coin collection that I collected as a kid, and now I'm turning it into jewelry for the hats actually slowly over time. So it was my catalyst for like finding out about just anything interesting that was old. And so I try and encourage people. I'm like, hey, this is rare. This could be worth $2, or it's worth $1 million if you got the right one. I'm not checking. You go check. You know.
Exactly.
That's true.
I gotta ask, because I also see on the website too, is like replicas. Like if some people see like a hat from like a movie or one of their favorite movies,
What?
they come in and they could ask for it. What has been one like movie hat that you've done that you can remember?
I actually have done this one 3 times now.
Oh,
It's Clint Eastwood's High Plains Drifter hat, which is like low and flat top, kind of like scraggly, distressed. And interestingly, I actually got to do a hat for his son, Scott. Yeah,
What?
yeah. He lives here locally. I mean, like Encinitas, I think, or something like that. But we ended up doing a custom hat for him, and we did. It's on my Instagram. A couple, maybe like from the old shop. Actually, we did something. He's an investor in an alcohol company that was sponsoring the shop for a while, and so we did some stuff together. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
sick.
is it the same hat from like a fistful of dollars or something like? It's like I think I knew what you're talking about. It's like a flat brim with like almost like a flat.
It's like
top.
black or chocolate. I've done them in both colors, and it's like a low flat top, and the brim is really wide and sort of flat, but it's like a little bit dipped. It's a little bit wonky here, and it's like kind of got all this like really interesting stuff, a leather band on it. I have one in the shop right now because my customer who wears it all the time, he's just brought it back for a cleaning, which we do for free on all of our hats. So
So you're saying with every purchase that people get from your hat company, it's a free cleaning.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And
Like
how
for-
long
for
is the free
life,
cleaning?
or-
For life, yeah.
For life?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's a good deal.
I don't. I would prefer them not to take it somewhere else and have it serviced. I'd rather service it myself. And like, there's really not much that you can do to one of the hats that I've built that it will destroy it. The only thing that I've ever seen that I couldn't fix was someone's dog ripped it apart.
Oh yeah, that's.
But like, I've had my hats like run over by cars or fallen in the ocean or in the lake or river, whatever. It's not a big deal. I mean, they get lit on fire as part of the process for refining them. Like even this one was lit on fire. So that it can handle a lot. Yeah, it can handle a lot.
Damn, this episode has been very goddamn
Good, man.
educational.
Yeah.
Most of the time when people come in, it's like if they don't know what we're doing or what we're about, you know, I am mostly just giving them a tour because like the workshop is in the store, and I have all these old tools in the shop that we use. That's how we make all the hats. And so I just tell people like, this is what we're doing. This is why we do it this way, you know, and oftentimes it turns into like a 30-minute tour of like the history of hat making because I could talk forever about it. And if they're not ready to buy a hat right now, which most people are like, okay, this is the first time I'm seeing this. This is like, in most cases, most of my hats are about $1,200. And so like, okay, not ready for that right now. Very cool. I see what you're doing. That's awesome. But oftentimes what happens is they're like, a few months later, they're like, hey, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I need to get a hat. And so it's just mostly just telling people what we're doing, because essentially what we're doing is the highest possible quality hat you can buy in your entire life. But there's almost no opportunities anymore in your life to buy something that will outlast yourself and be passed down. So like when I'm on my days off, and if I'm not wearing a hat, I'll walk straight up to some of my customers, because they're all over the place, and I'll be like, hey, how's it going? And nobody recognizes me, like at all. It's crazy. And it's because I'm not wearing a hat, and everyone sees me with a hat. But you think about like your grandfather or your dad or what, maybe someone in your life wore a hat all the time. You remember them for that. And so it's, there's not very many times in life where you can like buy something that does that. It's very sentimental to people. So like my mom has my grandfather's cowboy boots in a display, and not because she's ever going to wear them, but because that was how she remembered him. He had a cowboy hat too. It's also right in the same box basically. So, yeah, I think it's really special. It becomes very personal to people.
Damn, I can agree totally 100% on that. Because like even like back then, like growing up as a young kid, like seeing movies and watching TV shows, like I would see fedoras and that shit would always stick out.
Yeah.
Like just with the feather and like the cleanness of
Yeah.
all that, and like different styles and all the different colors and shit.
Well,
Even cowboy hats too.
Yeah.
Like back then when I was when I was like around 6 or 7, like my pops, he used to be going around like the rodeo scene and whatnot. I had like about 4 or 5 pairs of boots.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was, I'm a kid, so I don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
But now I think about it right now, I'm like, damn, that fool really went all out and dressed us up like that.
He's getting you some boots like
Yeah.
that. They're not cheap. That's cool. Yeah, it's I mean, just to even like imagine yourself. How old are you now? Like
I'm about 29 now.
Yeah, so imagine you get your fedora and you wear it for 60 years, and every single person now knows you for that. And like, that thing has a lot of energy around it because you've worn it for so long. You've taken it in all these different scenarios in your life. Like imagine that, the closest approximation to something like that is like your wallet that you carry every single day. Like I wear a hat every single day pretty much.
Same.
And so, exactly. Yeah.
There's different styles. I have a fedora actually I had since I was 16.
Sick.
Been with me for 13 years, and it's
Yeah.
been through everything. I'm talking about like fights,
Yeah.
parties, success moments.
Yeah.
I'm out in the car and it flew off my head, so we went back and got it.
It becomes like a symbolic like talisman of like all of your life experiences, and I like that's really what people come in and connect with quite a bit, and it's because they want that feeling and they want that thing. And it's a lot of the times when you put a cowboy hat on for the first time, if you've never worn one, you start to get a little bit of an attitude. Like different hats, they embody who you want to be and how you want to feel, and so it just draws it out of yourself, which I think is it's a really special thing to watch, because I put hats on a lot of people, so it's really cool to see like as soon as I put a hat on that's made to fit them perfectly, and we've maybe incorporated some heirloom jewelry from their family or something into it, and they put it on and you can see all this like range of emotion that goes through their head. I'm doing one right now for a guy. His brother passed away, and he when he came in, he's like, my brother used to wear a hat every day. I'm not super a hat guy, but like I want to do this to honor him. So we're putting I'm making him a little sterling silver thing with his brother's initials on it, and like a feather that is a pheasant feather that his brother shot, because he was a hunter as well. And so we're putting all this stuff on, and it's like it was already like we were both choking up like talking about this, because like I have a little brother, and like it's extremely important to me. Like family is a big thing for me, and so even before he's gotten the hat, like I'm still working on it. He was already like, this is so important, thank you so much. And so to get to see that, it's really cool. It's meaningful to me. So
Yeah, like you said, it does kind of represent a little bit of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, if you guys were paying attention, now put your hat down like this.
Yeah.
You lose your luck. And I'm sure like after you wear it for so long, even if you don't see it on the person, but you see the hat laying around somewhere, you're like, oh, that's so-and-so's hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty sure you can pick that up. Well, I don't see any more
We
comments.
got
but-
any more comments on the
Piccolo?
IG or
IG?
YouTube? Piccolo? What do we got? We got everybody viewing. We got Peanuts Dad. We got Lasagna saying, yo. People cracking up every time I say lasagna. It's like, why y'all naming lasagna? I don't know.
And we do see all the emojis out there. Thank you so much for being in the comment section and for staying tuned with this episode with Zito. Dude, we learned a lot, man.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thanks for having me on here.
And now we're ready to go to the shop and check it out.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
put you in some cool hats so you guys can come and check it out. I don't have any of the like super short brim fedoras, but now you've reminded me to make one, so I just
sick.
yeah. I'll make one. Every time I have them, they sell. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah, there's
I actually
immediately
thought
on.
about an idea right now while we're talking. I was just imagining it. Just like, sort of like a fedora, but it's not like traditional. I'm thinking more into like the graffiti and mural scenes.
Love it.
And just tag it up with all different kind of like cartoons and murals or even names on it, and
That would
just
be
like that's
sick.
the style right there, even from the bottom of it.
Yeah, I did one that was like basically imagine this same hat. This guy had grown up in Cardiff. He's one of the most interesting characters I make hats for. His name's Woodfish.
Woodfish.
Woodfish, yeah.
That's right.
I didn't even know his real name for like the first 3 years that I knew him. And he had me burn in South Cardiff on the underside of his brim, and he wears his brim flipped up like this and way over his eyes like this, and he's got these crazy like tattoos on his face right here, and it just says South Cardiff. So I would love to do like an Oceanside themed one that has like maybe the the bridge over there, and like have someone who's an artist, because I'm not like I could imagine that I'm the tagging and mural community would be like, oh, your handwriting sucks, like I'm not trying to do that. I'll pass it off to someone else,
There's a little collaboration.
Yeah, as a collaboration essentially. So someone who's actually good at it can come do it. Because you can actually tattoo on hats, like physically with a tattoo gun. You can burn stuff in with like a wood burning pen. I've seen people paint on them and it looks really cool. I mean, I think that'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be sick as fuck. And then,
Yeah, I
like
love
you
it.
said, to pass it on to an artist, and then there you go. Next thing you know, be landing into a music video or some
Yeah.
visuals.
Yeah, I don't like to limit myself to just being like, oh, he only makes cowboy hats or he only does fedoras. Like, I literally have a ball cap right now in the shop that I made that's made out of beaver fur, and I'll post the video like probably this week because I just finished it up. But it looks exactly like a ball cap, but it's made out of like cowboy hat material. So I do streetwear, I do like fedoras, I do traditional stuff, non-traditional, Western wear, top hats. I do like Willy Wonka style top hats.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
anything.
Yep, and you're talking about matching right down to matching your outfits, matching down to your cars,
Yeah.
matching even down to any particular events that people got coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sick.
With the suit, like I would love to do more hats for the car community, honestly, because I mean it's very connected to me in terms of like, one, I live in Vista. That's one of my favorite parts about living in Vista, like I told you guys earlier. But the motorcycle and car community and car culture are very tied in with each other. So like it's literally why I started selling hats in the first place, was to buy motorcycle parts. And, like, I build like custom choppers in my garage as just a hobby, basically. So, and so yeah, I would love to do more stuff that's like, hey, you want to match your paint job on your car? Like, let's do it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite classic motorcycle or classic chopper?
So I had my favorite motorcycle. I just sold it about a year ago. It was a 1963 Harley Davidson pan shovel. And I had like a photo of it on my, if you go on my personal Instagram, you can see it. It's Austin Zito. I sold it to pay for the shop, and also it was like 75 years old. And so that old of a bike takes like 20 hours a week to work on, and I don't have that time. So it was never running really after a while.
And the parts trying to
The
get 'em.
parts, yeah. It's like I would go down there and be like, I'm so excited to ride my bike. And it would take me like 30 minutes to try and get it started. I'd be drenched in sweat,
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's the engine there. It's here, I'll show you guys too on my Instagram.
That's sick. That's a good choice right there.
Yeah, it was fun. And so I just sold it recently, but I'm gonna get another bike pretty soon. This is the one I built. This way.
And you
that's
build them right from scratch, huh?
Yeah, all the paint, leather work. I mean, it's like another way to express myself as an artist. But I did all the fabrication, leather work, the paint.
You ever got hired by someone to make a custom bike?
Oh no, I would
Never do
never
that.
take anyone's money. I'm not that good. Yeah. I do it for myself mostly because I think it's fun and enjoyable. but I would never put someone on my welds. I'm not that.
You don't want that on your conscience.
Yeah, I don't want that on my conscience.
Sign a waiver.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, are you sure?
Ain't no promises on this one. No guarantees.
Like I'll get on it, but I'm not trying to have someone else do that. So, but yeah, I'll probably get another one next year and build something more modern, just so I can press a button and it starts instead of having it be kickstart and hot rodded out and like all this stuff. It was too much.
You were just talking about you used one of your hats too. Like,
Well, I only get
from that.
carbureted bikes so that I can like work on them on the side of the road because like a lot of, at least in the chopper community, like a lot of it is like you just break down in the middle of nowhere, and a lot of the best stories come from like, oh, I broke down, I had to camp behind this bar, and like the bar owner let me sleep inside it, whatever. Like just crazy stuff happens when your bike is unreliable, for good and bad. It's like you can just get stranded in the middle of nowhere, and you have to figure it out. And it's so that's why I only do carbureted bikes, and that's the toothpick on the side of my hat was I fixed a bike one time with it, so it was comes in handy for sure.
Nice.
It ain't great.
Zito, thanks again for joining us in the podcast episode. I hope you had a good time.
This is super fun.
Yeah, maybe we could run it back again 2025.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll do a check-in every year.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, but before that, we definitely gonna tap into. I gotta definitely get a hat off of you and
Yeah, I
add
would
that
love
off
to
to my
make you one.
collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to make you one. It's a special experience, it's and you would rock it.
Yeah,
You
no,
look
I'm actually gonna get one of my suits that I found.
Sick.
So I actually found like a Tommy suit because I like to hit up thrift stores as well, and I always find like the little 2-piece sets.
If you find an old hat too, I can just redo it for you.
I've actually had find old hats.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So yeah, I'm actually
Just bring it by.
For sure.
I'll just make it fit you, and we'll do the different trim or whatever you want on it. So.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Make some content. Can we make some content off of that, Zito?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, bet.
All right, brother Zito. One more time, where can people reach out and get in contact for your store?
Best place, I would encourage people to follow me on Instagram at ZITO Hat Co. You'll get to see a lot of the videos that I post and a lot of the content that I make, which I think is really interesting for people to see the behind-the-scenes process of it. And then from there, you can go to my website if you want more information, or you can just DM me. I mean, I run it, so chances are you're talking to me when you reach out to it. So this is, very small business. So.
6'6".
Okay. Hey, reach them out. And if not, stop by the shop here, Coast Highway near Vista Way, right?
Yeah, it's on Vista Way, 609 Vista Way. It's right next to the Corner Pizza, Tanner's Prime Burgers, Heritage Barbecue, who they also have hats for me. So pretty much everyone in all those business owners have hats for me. It's pretty cool.
That's right. Yo, and with that being said, Austin, thank you again for tapping in with us for tonight. This was a dope-ass episode. Must-see for this year, along with the other episodes that we got with the gang of guests that you wouldn't even believe unless you've seen who we've had come through these doors. But until you catch us around next time, we do appreciate y'all tapping in. Catch us around when you can. Yo, thank you for sipping with us. Thank you for toking up with us. Thank you for kicking it.